September 15th, 2025, 4:18 p.m. local time, Southern Caribbean Sea. A Guayquerí-class Venezuelan patrol ship turns hard to port. Its new heading? Directly toward a U.S. Navy destroyer operating legally in international waters. On board the USS Knights, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, the bridge crew spots the maneuver instantly. No warning, no radio contact, just a steel hull, 2,300 tons of it, accelerating to 22 knots and closing fast. At this range, less than 12 nautical miles, there's no room for assumptions. Every second counts. Combat Information Center calls the bridge. Unidentified contact is altering course, CPA is under 3 miles and shrinking. The ship's captain gives the order. Maintain ROE, log everything. Hail once, then go active. Bridge-to-bridge hails go out in English and Spanish. No response. The Venezuelan ship isn't drifting, it's choosing this path. The USS Knights activates electronic countermeasures. Long-range cameras lock onto the contact. The ship's 5-inch gun rotates silently, just enough to be seen. Subtle, but deliberate. This isn't a drill, and everyone on board knows it. Inside the Combat Information Center, sailors monitor radar and FLIR feeds while maintaining a precise log. One misstep could be interpreted as hostile intent or weakness. And in these waters, weakness gets exploited. For the next 8 minutes, every system on the Knights is watching. Every move is recorded. One wrong decision from either side, and this turns from posturing to escalation fast. And Venezuela's about to find out exactly how fast. 21 nautical miles. That's when the Venezuelan patrol vessel first appeared on radar. At first, it was just another contact. Low speed, steady heading, but that changed quickly. At 4:11 p.m., USS Knights Spy 1D radar marked the vessel's acceleration from 12 knots to 22 in under 2 minutes. Unusual, especially in these waters. The CIC, or the Combat Information Center, tagged it. Track Sierra 179er. Venezuelan Navy. Guayquerí class. Identifiable by its profile. Twin-mast radar array, forward-mounted Otto Melara 76mm gun, and a hull signature the Knights fire control radar had already stored from past encounters. It was approaching on an aggressive intercept course, vectoring directly toward the destroyer's starboard bow. The Knights was not inside any territorial waters. It was 34 nautical miles off Venezuela's coast, well within international law. Still, procedures are procedures. The officer of the deck issued his first hail. Unidentified Venezuelan naval vessel, this is U.S. Navy warship on international transit. You are closing distance at high speed. Alter course immediately. Nothing. Second hail, this time in Spanish. Silence. This wasn't a miscommunication. This was a choice. The Knights elevated its posture. Non-lethal systems activated. Long-range optics zoomed in. The SLQ-32 electronic warfare suite began logging emissions. Every radar ping, every signal, every whisper of movement was recorded. The rules of engagement, or the ROE, were crystal clear. Warn, show presence, prepare to respond. And that's exactly what the crew of the Knights was doing. Meanwhile, flight deck crews were already strapping down sensor pods and loading flares onto the ship's Seahawk helicopter. Because when ships get too close, the next step isn't a warning, it's a flyover. 4:22 p.m. The Venezuelan patrol ship increases speed again, this time to 26 knots. That's over its typical cruise rate. Now it's pushing its diesel turbines hard, and the exhaust haze confirms it. The bridge of the USS Knights goes quiet. Everyone's listening, watching. CIC confirms. Contact is maneuvering with intent. CPA now under 2.1 nautical miles. Time to CPA, 6 minutes. This isn't a shadowing maneuver, it's a close pass. And close passes in international waters mean one thing: pressure. Inside the CIC, tracking officers log every bearing change. Surface watch calls out visual confirmations. Deck crew is visible on the Venezuelan vessel. Helmets on, personnel moving near the gun mount. Weapons not manned yet. But the crew isn't waiting. Flight ops are greenlit. The Seahawk is a tactical toolbox. Surveillance, sonar, even torpedoes if needed. But right now it's about presence. A fast, flexible airborne asset that can get eyes on the target and apply non-lethal pressure. The Seahawk's onboard sensor operator calibrates forward-looking infrared to track surface movement. Useful in daylight too, especially against hot exhaust and running gear. The destroyer's SLQ-32 picks up a narrow radar sweep coming in from the Venezuelan vessel. They're scanning us back. The Knights' electronic warfare officer calls it out. Low-power service search mode, they're painting us without fire control. That's the line. Not a direct threat, but it means that they're actively tracking the Knights' position, speed, and heading, not passive observation. This is targeting behavior. At 4:26 p.m., the Seahawk banks hard left, dropping to 200 feet above the waterline. Its crew, 2 pilots and 1 sensor operator, are locked in. Communications with the Knights remains open but minimal. The mission is clear: close the gap, identify posture, and deliver a non-verbal message. We see you, we're ready, and we're not alone. 8 miles out, the Venezuelan patrol ship looms larger through the Seahawk's nose camera. The Guayqueri-class vessel is old-school steel with modern intentions. But the Seahawk crew has the edge, literally and digitally. Under its belly, the helicopter's MX-20 FLIR system goes live, delivering high-res thermal imagery in real time. At 1.5 nautical miles, the Seahawk levels out. Safe distance, no flyover. This is tactical presence, not provocation. Then comes the light. The helicopter pulses a green laser designator, non-lethal but impossible to miss. It lands on the Venezuelan ship's bridge windows. And then, the broadcast. Venezuelan naval vessel, this is a U.S. Navy helicopter. You are operating unsafely in international waters. Change course now, or you will be recorded as a hostile contact. Same message repeated in Spanish. The Venezuelan bridge crew stirs. Figures move. One appears to raise binoculars. Another waves. Unclear if it's a signal or defiance. Back aboard the Seahawk, the sensor operator zooms in. Infrared captures facial heat signatures. The footage is timestamped, geo-locked, and stored. It's not just intel, it's legal proof. Inside the Venezuelan CIC, their radar systems are now painting the Seahawk. Still no fire control radar tone. But that line is getting thinner by the second. The Seahawk circles once, wide and slow. Enough for every sailor topside to see its markings. Navy, a white star, and an open weapons bay that could be carrying sonar buoys or torpedoes. They don't know. That's the point. The message is clear. Back off. The patrol ship maintains course, but its wake is shortening. Speed is dropping. 24 knots, then 22. They're backing down. Carefully, but visibly. And in the air above them, the Seahawk watches, silent, armed with nothing but optics and intent. 4:32 p.m. The Venezuelan patrol ship drops to 19 knots. A subtle turn follows, just a few degrees off the Knights' path. Not a retreat, but no longer a direct intercept either. From the Seahawk's optics, the change is unmistakable. The ship's posture has drifted. Deck crew are pulling back from the forward gun mount. One sailor waves again, this time with both arms, palms out. Universal maritime language. No harm intended. The Seahawk doesn't flinch. It holds its orbit, sensors locked in, side-mounted camera recording every second. Then the Venezuelan bridge crackles to life. United States naval vessel, we are exercising sovereign patrol duties in proximity to Venezuelan waters. We request that you adjust your heading accordingly. It's not an apology, but it is the first sign of communication. Back on the Knights, the response is clear, firm, and immediate. Venezuelan vessel, this is U.S. warship conducting legal transit in international waters. Your movements are being recorded. Unsafe maneuvers will be treated as escalatory. Silence. Then nothing. No new turns, no new hails, just the rhythm of engines and the widening gap between hulls. The Seahawk completes one final loop, then peels off. It climbs to 500 feet and heads back towards the Knights' flight deck. Mission complete, pressure applied, message delivered. By 4:38 p.m., the Venezuelan ship is 6 nautical miles off the Knights' starboard quarter, still visible, still moving, but no longer a threat. There are no missiles, no warning shots, just a tense ballet of steel, optics, and precision flying. But in this standoff, nobody blinked until Venezuela did. This wasn't random. Venezuela doesn't sail a warship straight to a U.S. Navy destroyer without a reason, even if that reason is just posturing. To understand why, you have to look back at what happened just 2 weeks earlier, on September 2nd, 2025. In a rare public statement, U.S. Southern Command confirmed that 2 Venezuelan smuggling vessels were kinetically neutralized in international waters after ignoring multiple warnings. The target? High-volume drug runners suspected of carrying synthetic opioids bound for the U.S. Strikes were clean, precise, and conducted by drones operating under Coast Guard jurisdiction backed by Navy ISR. The message from Washington was loud and clear. Smuggling operations in the Caribbean won't be tolerated, even outside territorial waters. Caracas? Not a fan. In the days following the strikes, intelligence analysts noticed a sudden uptick in Venezuelan naval activity, especially from their Comando de Guardacostas, the Naval Coast Guard. But it wasn't just coastal. Ships began patrolling deeper, venturing close to U.S. routes, often with erratic patterns. Then came the flyovers. On September 10th, U.S. Navy ships reported 2 separate overflights by Venezuelan K-8W light attack jets, flying low, slow, and well inside international airspace. No weapons loaded, but unmistakably deliberate. Those jets didn't fire anything, but their radar and electro-optical pods, they were active. Venezuela wasn't launching a war, they were collecting data and sending a signal. We see you, and we can push back too. The Knights encounter fits that same pattern. It wasn't an attempt to engage. It was a political message, wrapped in Navy steel. Venezuela's military doctrine, especially at sea, revolves around asymmetric presence. They know they can't match U.S. firepower, but they don't need to. Their goal is to create tactical friction, slow things down, create headlines, force Washington to think twice before striking again. And the U.S. response? Professional, predictable, controlled. Presence, not provocation. Surveillance, not suppression. That's the American playbook in these waters. Keep the advantage, log everything, let the facts tell the story. Because in a world where every radar ping, every course change, every green laser pulse can go viral or reach the UN Security Council, the real weapon isn't always the missile. Sometimes it's the memory card in the Seahawk's sensor pod. By 4:45 p.m., the Seahawk is secured on deck. The Venezuelan patrol ship is now 9 miles off the Knights' quarter, still visible on radar but no longer maneuvering. The Knights maintains course, steady speed, no sirens, no combat posture, just professional distance. But every move, from the radar locks to the green laser pulses to the ignored hails, has been logged, timestamped, and filed. This wasn't combat, It was calculated pressure. A chess move played at sea, with steel instead of pawns. For Venezuela, the message was sent, "We're not backing down." But the reply was louder, "We're not blinking." One tense encounter. No shots fired, but a clear boundary drawn. Quietly and undeniably. The Caribbean remains a flashpoint, not because of firepower, but because of proximity, politics, and perception. The next encounter might not end this calmly. So here's the question. Should the U.S. respond more aggressively to these maritime standoffs, or is restraint the smarter weapon? Drop your take in the comments. I'm going to read every one. And if you want more real-world encounters like this, where navies posture, intercept, and calculate their moves down to the meter, subscribe to Navy Media. And hey, if you want to go a step further and support the channel directly, join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses, and you'll be helping us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Just go over to our channel page and click join to get on board. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Next time Venezuela wants to play chicken with a destroyer, they might want to pick a smaller bird. I'll see you next time.